Welcome back to the Rick Smith Show. Now, here is Rick Smith.
So one of the things here on the program I like to focus on, I like to talk about, people getting good jobs. We've been talking about inflation. We've been talking about prices going up. In fact, I spent a little bit of time earlier on the program talking about, corporate America and how on one hand they're saying, hey, profits are through the roof. Our dividends are great. Sales are wonderful, but we're broke because we can't give raises to our workers because we're broke and we're firing people. You know how we stop that? We organize, we unionize, we have contracts that ensure that, cost of living adjustments so our wages don't get eaten away by inflation. Because I say, the best anti-inflation tool, a union card. The best way to get to the middle class, a union job. And that's why I love focusing on those jobs that provide all people with good opportunities, a pathway to the middle class and learning opportunities. And for me, the building trades have the best apprenticeship programs and one of the best pathways to the middle class. And right now, over the last couple of years, there has been a major push to be more inclusive, to bring more women into the building trades, which is why today I want to talk with Liliana Calderon. She is the International Union of Bricklayers Health and Safety Manager. She's also the leader of the BAC's Sisters Rise group program to bring more women, be more inclusive, empower folks to come in and be more active in their union and, be part of that middle class. Liliana, thanks for taking time for us.
Hi, thank you.
So let's start with your experience with you. How'd you become a bricklayer? It's not something you often think of a trade for women.
No, you're right. And honestly, it was dumb luck. I was in the right place at the right time. I grew up in Chicago. I was doing service industry work, and I came across a college career fair. And got in with Chicago Women in Trades, which is a non-for-profit organization who helps women get into non-traditional trades.
Right.
I was able to get with them and kind of figure out what I wanted to be as far as a tradesperson. And I went into bricklaying and fell in love with it. I went through my apprenticeship, got out of there, was working with the contractor for 14 years. They guided me through my apprenticeship, taught me all the skills I needed to have to succeed. I ran work for them. And then in the last year, I was offered a position with the International Union as the health and safety manager. So, it's been a really great path for me.
And it's one of those things where, again, as I tell people, it's a pathway to get an education. It's a pathway to get a career, something that, through your life, it's a skill that you can take with you no matter if you stay with it, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or you make a lifelong career out of it. It's something that you have regardless, and you're always going to be able to figure out how to eat. And it's just one of those things that I think is really important to highlight, especially in this time where, there are jobs out there, but very few career jobs out there. And for me, this is one of those.
No, you're absolutely right. I know my friends, some of my friends went to college and, they're not doing anything that they went to college for. And I tell them, get into the trades. The trades, it's free. You get in, you make a living for yourself, you make good wages, you get a pension at the end of it, I was able to buy my own house because I had a union job that gave me the wages and the ability to buy something for myself and feel proud about that.
Yeah, and you earned that. Look, as a bricklayer, you earn your money. There's no question about that. And the thing is like I said, you don't often think of women in the building trades, and which is why I think things are changing. And I know a lot of the trades, and we talked to a bunch of folks who are making this because look, the reality is there are things that everyone can do, and there are jobs that need to be done, and we do need to be more inclusive, and we do need to be more focused on being and bringing more people in because look, we need the bodies. There's so much that needs to be done.
No, you're right. Being only 9% of women in construction, that's a really low number. There's women out there who really have the ability to do this kind of work. In the way we're trying, we built a women's group for the BAC. It's called RISE. It stands for Resource for Inclusion, Success, and Empowerment. And what we're trying to do there is get a community of women to basically support each other and bring each other up. So any issues we get on the job sites or any questions or how to navigate through just being a bricklayer or a mason, try to really help them get to the next level in their careers. Because if we can't help each other, how are we going to help bring in more women into this trade and even to the building trades as a whole?
Yeah. Now, being a bricklayer is a skilled trade. Now, most people think, well, you're just picking bricks up and setting them down. It's an awful lot more than that. And look, I'll tell you, I've built a brick wall and I didn't do a very good job of it. So it's a lot more involved than just picking things up and putting them down, which is why you do need the skills and you do need the training, and your union does the best job of getting folks the training. And as you said, it's not something you have to pay a school for. It's not something you have to go into a lifetime of debt for. It's something that the membership and the contractors put together to make sure that you have a trained workforce to meet the demands that are out there today. And it's a great thing. And I highly suggest it. Or am I missing something?
No, you hit it right on the head. I mean, besides the training and the free training and the ability to have a career, for a lifelong career that you choose, you're also getting trained on hazard awareness, safety, so that you're able to go to work and come back home to your loved ones. You can't get that anywhere else. I mean, if you're doing non-union work, you have to pay that out of pocket. As a union member, it's free.
Yeah, see, now I knew you were going to go there. I knew, Liliana, as the health and safety person, you were going to go right to the safety. Because, look, I would expect that from you because I know that union work sites are much safer. In fact, I was watching an Instagram video just the other day, and it has this guy like 10 feet down underground. He's digging out, maybe you've seen this one. He's digging out a pipeline that they buried underground, and it's like 5 feet across, so it had a pretty wide span. And he's down there with a shovel digging out the pipe, and there's nothing around him. And he's like 10 feet underground. And there's a guy from OSHA somewhere, I think it was like Oregon. And the guy's like, you got to get out of there. Who puts a guy 10 feet underground with no walls on the side? Those walls cave in. It's the end of him.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And that's not the only instance where you see that. You see that just by using, not using personal fall arrest systems, in case you're working above 10 feet. Sometimes if you're not using that and you accidentally trip and you go over the ledge, what's going to save your life? Nothing. And if you're not trying to know that you need that equipment, you're not gonna survive that.
Yeah, it's there's so much, and this is why I think having a union, especially in the building trades, is so vitally important, and especially in this day and age, where there's so much, so much insanity out there. You're listening to the Rick Smith Show. We're with Liliana Calderon. She is the International Union's Health and Safety Manager, also the leader of the Bricklayers Sisters Rise program. If you want to check out their website, bacweb.org is where you can go to check out the work that they do there. Now, look, we've kind of painted this rosy picture of people going and getting an education. It can't be all sunshine and rainbows, is it? I mean, this is a tough job. This is hard work. This is calluses on your hands. This is your back aching at the end of the day kind of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've only been out of the field for about a year, and I still feel the aches and pains of working in the field for 14 years, and it's not easy. And often, as a woman, you're the only woman on that job site, or perhaps the only woman for that contractor. So it's hard just alone as being a bricklayer because it's tough work, but being the sole woman out on that job site, it can be rough. But with support of like our groups like the Rise Group or women's organizations that, like I said, Chicago Women in Trades, and there's many more women organizations that help women get through their trades, through the trades. I mean, with that kind of support, I mean, you can do anything as long as you have that.
Now, I got two daughters, Liliana. I got two daughters, and I tell them the same thing. You can do anything you want to do. If they came to me and said, "Dad, I want to be a bricklayer," I got to be honest. My my organs inside of me going, really? You want to do that? It's really, my first thought would be it's really heavy work. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot on you, but also it's a male dominated field. You're going to take a lot of guff. It's going to be, what advice do you give? What lessons did you learn going through that you would pass along? Let's say to my daughters, if they said, no, I heard Liliana, I want to become a bricklayer.
I'd say first and foremost, you have to love what you do. There's a sense of pride knowing that the work that you do is yours. That's what I have every time I see any building out there. There are going to be rough days, but tomorrow's a new day. So, treat it as a new day, as a new learning experience. Everything that happens to us, we just have to make sure that we learn from it and be better. It is a tough trade, but it's tough out in the world, no matter where you are and what career you choose. But it will get better, and there are going to be co-workers, male co-workers, counterparts that help you through that too, and help you get those skills that you need to become successful.
And the more women that come into it, I think the easier maybe
Correct.
it will be. Where someone like you who was a trailblazer, making that path for others, maybe it was a little bit more difficult. Maybe hopefully it gets easier. But you said something that every person that I know who's ever been in the trades says. I go past places that I've worked on, and they've always got to point it out. So do you do that? Do you do that to people, your kids or relatives, whenever you go by somewhere? You go, I did that. Do you do that?
I do that all the time. I think it gets annoying for my friends because I might point it out like 10 times, But I have pride in the work that I've done, and in the work of any tradesperson has ever done. Union jobs are great. I value what the union has provided me, and I value the work that I've done, and I want to show it to everyone that I see.
No, it's that kind of legacy too. I mean, there's that, you've left something behind. You've put your mark on society, and it's that that sense of accomplishment, which is why I'm always a little envious of some of my tradespeople who can do the work that they do. Look, like I said, I built a wall. Not the big beautiful wall that the Trumpkins wanted, but I did build a wall, and it is well. I think you would fail me, but. But it is there. It is there. But it I'm sure not up to your standards.
That's all right. Well, you tried, right? But you have that pride, and that's what it's all about. Having that pride in that work that you do.
So last bit of questioning I got for you. What's the advice for people? How are we getting more women in? What's the word? And then when we make that pitch, how do you get to it? How do we do it? What's the actual command? If you want to become a bricklayer, go here. What's that?
Listen, I just think as construction goes as a whole, the culture has to change, and we have to be more inclusive. And the more we're more inclusive and try to bring more women in and have those women that are into leadership roles so that other women can see that there's a path forward, that you're going to get the attention of many, many, many more women that can see that as a potential and not as a man's world, right? Or it's a man's trade. That's what I got.
Yeah, I give your president, Timothy Driscoll, and all of your leadership, I give them credit. They have really, at least it's from the outside looking in, and maybe you can attest to it, that they have really, leaps and bounds over these last couple of years, given an attempt to reach out and bring more women in. And as more women come on, I think the culture will change. I think the work will get, just as good and better. I think the future is bright, especially for women going forward. And like I said, once the culture changes a bit, I think it will be easier.
No, you're absolutely right. And I hope that is true. And I believe it will be.
But Liliana, I appreciate you taking some time for us, sharing your experience. Great stuff. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Liliana Calderon. Again, check out their website, bacweb.org. We'll get links out on social media. I can check out the work that they do there. Also would love to hear your thoughts. You can email me, rick@thericksmithshow.com. I'm going to take a quick break. Right back after this. Stick around and listen to The Rick Smith Show, where working people come to talk.